All right, guys, welcome to the Onelife Podcast. Here with James White. He has a big YouTube channel, Freakin Reviews.
That's right.
He's also got a TikTok, which I've noticed, which is blown up.
Kind of, I guess. Yeah, TikTok's different.
So you were a full-time YouTuber.
I am. I have been for 5 years now. 5
years?
5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How's it going? How's the journey?
You know, it's a grind. It is a grind. It's people that want to be on YouTube have this fantasy about what it's like, but what it's really like is not always what they imagine.
It's a job, right?
It's a lot of work.
It's a full-time job.
Far more work than any other full-time job I ever had.
And you're an entrepreneur, therefore you are 100% accountable to whether that channel grows, whether you put content out, how good that content. Yeah. It's all on you.
Yeah.
If you get lazy, it's on you.
That's right.
And I noticed you're grinding, you're doing the same thing, you're pushing. How many subs are you up to now?
Almost 700,000 on
That's
YouTube.
Ridiculous. 700,000 subscribers. That's not views. That is 700,000 people who have found you interesting enough, related with you enough to hit that subscribe button. That's amazing.
My Facebook's actually on the way up. I'm at over 500,000 there now.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
And then your TikTok's about 100K?
Almost, yeah.
That's amazing, dude. Well done. I don't know if anyone really ever says that to you, but well done. That's like, I feel like so many people, it's easy, oh, he was lucky, it was this, but you made that happen.
I grind them all. I even post on Snapchat. You know, like I post on all of them. Snapchat. I even have like Rumble and Odyssey. I mean, I go deep down, as far down as I can go.
That's awesome. Big congratulations on that. Thanks. I like seeing people who have grinded and made things happen. Yeah. What is it like juggling? Like I know you're technically you're a YouTuber, but now you're present on a lot more platforms. Yeah. What is it like trying to juggle all these platforms?
Well, a lot of them are all going to the short form platforms. You know, like
that's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Instagram was a wannabe TikTok, and everybody's hating on Instagram now.
I hate Instagram.
Everybody hates Instagram now.
I used to get so much work from Instagram, and it's so much spam. I'm following people I don't know. Yeah. They're feeding me stuff I don't want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Instagram has become this like wannabe TikTok that nobody seems to want. All the photographers are all going to I think it's called Vero now. That's like the big one for photographers.
Really? I didn't know that. I'm going to check that out when I get off there.
Because all photographers are getting no reach. They're getting,
it sucks. It's really, it used to be amazing. We don't need another TikTok. TikTok is TikTok.
And we already
need
have
an Instagram.
And you have YouTube Shorts already, which is as close to TikTok as you're going to get, and they're much more successful at it.
They pop. They pop way more than.
Yeah.
For me personally, Instagram does nothing. I'll pop on TikTok. I'll pop on YouTube Shorts. Yeah. So how do you juggle all platforms? Are you shooting on YouTube and then cutting down on other platforms?
I am. Yeah.
Talk to me about your process.
I film the video in wide format for YouTube. Usually what I do is I bring it into my editing software in a vertical format, and I just try to create a 15 to 60 second version, and then I just upload natively to all the short ones. So I have a second YouTube Shorts channel now.
Oh, do you really?
Because I was posting shorts to my main channel, and I actually believe that the shorts were hurting my main channel.
I'm going through the same thing with this.
Yeah.
I've had people like, I really like your podcast, but I'm having trouble finding your podcast because you post so many shorts.
Yeah.
So, and you got a big channel where you don't want to upset people.
I was posting shorts from my main for a while, and I really feel like it negatively affected the reach, because despite what YouTube says, they say one thing, but my experience tells me something else. Like they say, you can take a break as long as you want, and it's not going to affect your channel. Everybody that takes a break ends up taking a massive hit on their reach. So to me, those shorts were negatively affecting my channel as a whole. So I deleted most of them, and I stopped posting them, and I have a second shorts channel, which is doing fine on its own actually.
And then you're linking that to your big one. Hey, if you want to see the full video. How many subscribers, how many views are you getting on the short channel?
I had 10 million views last month on the shorts channel.
How long have you had that channel? When did you start?
I started last year, but I didn't really do much with it.
How long have you been serious with it for?
I stopped for over a year, and I just came back in July and started posting heavily.
Okay. But that's popping.
It popped in August. I mean, the surge is kind of over now. But
is it driving the other channel too, you think, with subscribers? It's just on its own thing. Its own little entity doing its thing.
What I do is I pin a comment on each one of those, because the description on shorts is completely useless. Nobody looks at the description. You can't even find it almost.
Do you use tags on shorts? I'm confused whether I should use tags on shorts.
I do, but I just usually copy and paste them from my main video.
Okay, yeah, it's good to hear, because I mean, I'm on social media, that's what I do. But it's good to hear from someone else that actually does it and does it really well. Yeah, because I'm trying to figure this out myself, and it's very hard to find guidance in people who are actually doing it successfully.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube's pushing shorts because, I mean, they're pushing shorts because TikTok overcame them as the most viewed app on the planet in late 21.
Even as far as getting information, people aren't going to Google anymore. They're going to TikTok. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Like people in the 20s, it's crazy.
So YouTube doesn't know how to really handle that. But I also feel like that's negatively affecting the entire platform because there's not really much of a monetization for shorts. They have this creator fund that I've never even made. I have 10 million views last month. I didn't make a dime off of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, wow.
Because you don't qualify for the creator fund. Every month it's different. Yeah.
Interesting. So you most of your incomes come from YouTube still? You must be making some money on TikTok too then by now.
Not a couple $100 a month. It's not,
really?
Yeah, it's not much.
I think people underestimate how hard it is to make money online.
Short form content does not pay at all. Facebook is starting to pay.
How do you get paid through Facebook?
Same way. They run ads. You have to qualify. I actually have a company that does it for me, so I split the revenue with them.
Okay.
Yeah, because my channel was pretty much flat for years, and when they jumped on board, it just went straight up.
Oh, what are they doing differently?
They re-spend most of the money on ads, targeted ad. They run these. They test market like the same video like 20 different ways, 50 different ways to get the right title, the right description, all that stuff. They have different edits. And then once they get the right edit, the right title, then they post it. So it has the best chance of doing.
So you got someone pushing as hard as you can.
Yeah, I don't even touch Facebook.
Gotcha. Just an idea for you. Who's the biggest YouTuber out there? Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast is, I would say.
Have you learned much from him? You look up to him?
Some, yeah. I mean,
and I've got an idea for you. Just thought of it. Did you watch him on Joe Rogan podcast?
I didn't see that.
So what he does, his channel is obviously in English, but he pays other people to translate it in different languages.
Oh, I have heard that. Yeah, I have heard that.
That's something you could consider, isn't it?
I have considered that for a couple other languages, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, he's only English is such a small part of the world, but the products you do, they're available worldwide?
Some are. I mean, a lot of the ones for like Amazon all come from AliExpress and from China, so they're pretty much available everywhere.
So I mean, that could be something potentially like doubling your audience.
Does he just have like someone just speak over him, like a overdub?
He does it really well. He has someone like literally go through and like transcribe it, and then someone to do the voice over the top, like dub it, but then I think he has 3 people check that what he's saying is actually being said too, because he wouldn't have any idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just reinvesting back into his channel so he can spread the audience wider.
Everything he does is successful though.
Does it really well, right?
He has so many channels. Every one of them has like 5 million or more subscribers.
He's a good person, good kind of person to learn from.
Yeah.
How is it doing it for so long now? Is it getting hard? Is it getting repetitive? Are you still super passionate about it?
Kind of all 3 of them. I mean, I try to do things that I find more enjoyable, even if I know it's not going to get as many views, because sometimes I just think I don't want to do another.
What do you find enjoyable?
What's that?
What do you find enjoyable?
Being outside, a lot of these products are indoor products, kitchen products. So I did the spy pen recently. I knew it wasn't going to get a
spy pen. What is the spy pen?
It's a pen with a camera in it.
Oh, nice.
But I just thought
I saw that pop up on TikTok.
Yeah, I just want to get out and just do some stuff.
Gotcha.
And so that was much more fun to me, even though it didn't get nearly as many views as the other ones. I don't care.
Gotcha.
I need it for my own mental health to just get out.
Your own sanity.
Yeah, just to have some fun with it.
Although I think I want to see another pan video now. So if you don't know what he does as seen on TV product reviews, right?
That's how I started. I mean, the as seen on TV industry is not what it used to be. They don't put out nearly as many products as they used to.
Is that because of social media?
I think the as seen on TV industry kind of became a joke. So like a punchline. Whenever you saw an as seen on TV product being reviewed, it was almost always goofing on it.
Okay.
So they also information travels much more quickly than it used to. So when they used to test market these kind of goofy, not working very well products, they could kind of sell a bunch of them before word got around. But now
they weren't any good.
Now word gets around day one.
So where are you deciding what products you do? Where are you getting them from now?
Amazon. I'll spend I have these days of the month where I just binge Amazon for 8 straight hours. And,
Oh, gotcha.
And then viewer requests and AliExpress.
Gotcha. Okay. So people like, oh, can you review this? Or oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Do you use social media to see what other people are doing so you can do it yourself as well?
Not really, no.
Nah, interesting.
There aren't a lot of channels that really do exactly what I do. So I mean, there's other review channels out there, but there's not a lot kind of in my exact niche. So there's not really anybody to watch. What's your
favorite platform to use for yourself and to use as far as posting your things? Do you like the short form? Do you prefer the YouTube style?
Honestly, I really do enjoy the short form content. I know
that's done right.
I know that's kind of blasphemous to say, but maybe because I've been doing the long form content for so long, it's just something different for me. So like, I kind of look forward to doing the short content.
The thing I hate about YouTube is, sorry, I haven't posted for a couple of weeks. My mom's dog's uncle's been sick.
Yeah.
And you're already lost.
Yeah.
Whereas like TikTok is like, hey, how to boil an egg? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Oh, I now know how to boil an egg in 30 seconds or less.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's popping so much.
Yeah.
It's cutting out all the fluff.
Yeah.
And even the podcast, you got to watch the whole podcast to get the gold nuggets, or I can go through, cut the gold nuggets out and present it.
That's right.
Now I don't need to watch the podcast.
I have a science channel that I watch, and I used to watch the long form content, but when I found its shorts channel, I much prefer it because it kind of gets in and out. 1 minute, I can see the results. So.
It's funny, we're so busy and we can't sit there and watch a video anymore.
I know.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's hurting us in a way, like lack of attention?
I mean, there's a lot more competition out there, and anybody can grab their phone and post a short or a TikTok nowadays. In fact, I think most people prefer to have this kind of impersonal, low quality post on TikTok. It's a person in their bedroom with their phone. That seems to almost do better in a lot of cases than the professional production.
What is your thoughts on that? Like, just using your phone opposed to like, we use the same camera, Sony A7 III, that's our go-to cameras.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on using a better camera opposed to just taking action and picking up your phone?
I have a hard time. Honestly, my biggest problem is the audio. The phone audio is so much worse than what I do.
Audio is huge, right?
Yeah, I film myself with my phone. I'm like, that sounds terrible. Like I just don't like it. So
yeah. Would you? I know, like from being a videographer, like nobody will watch a bad video. People will watch a bad video with good audio, but they'll never watch a good video with bad audio.
Yeah,
audio is
huge,
everything. Yeah. How do you do your audio? You still do it the same way as?
I have a kind of an obscure product called a Pico Mic. It's a little clip that goes on it's a lapel mic, but it transmits to the camera, and it's magnetic, so you just snap it on there.
Okay.
It's not quite as good as what I had before, but it's far more convenient.
Okay.
It's got 2 mics, so.
A big thing I look up to you with is you started with a point and shoot, right?
Actually, that was my first upgrade. It was a point and shoot.
Oh, it was. What was your first camera you started your channel with?
I had this old Nikon D3200, which with a bad lens, and I had a Sony Action Cam, which people don't remember. It was like a wannabe GoPro.
Oh, so, yeah. That didn't last long, right?
No.
Gotcha.
That was what I started with. I just found I had 2 cameras laying around, and I just used those. And then my first upgrade was a point and shoot, and I used that for years.
For a long time, right?
Yeah.
I think so many people get caught up on equipment. You got to have the best equipment. You got to have the best lights.
Always, yeah.
Like right now, we're in my spare bedroom in my unit, right? So here we are making it happen.
Right, yeah.
And it's so funny. There's so many big YouTube channels, and you see the setup, and it's in the corner in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And they got like millions of subscribers.
I think PewDiePie's is just a bedroom in his house.
It's crazy, right? It's like, I feel like so many people get caught up on equipment as everything. What would you say? Action is probably the most important thing, right?
I'm sorry?
Would you say action is the most important thing as far as like content creation? And
I mean, really, I think that to some extent, yes, but I think that because the attention span is so short, having quick cuts, that's what is that? That was a 3-second rule or something like that, where you're supposed to, I mean, like, and that kind of still makes sense, even if you're just zooming in and zooming back out on the same shot. Like, I just feel like
something
having, I'll zoom back at my edit. If there's a long clip there, I'll zoom in, like, what can I cut here? Because no one's going to want to watch this 15 seconds of no cuts.
I need to do more of that. Like, I know better, but it's. What do you think over quality over quantity? Like, I mean, you can take your time, you can take all those things out, or are you better off putting more posts out there, or are you better off like making those posts more engaging? Or both, ideally.
I feel like I don't do it right, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I can't just throw tons of content out there, which I think is probably the best way to do it. I think that most people.
Do you think it is?
I think a lot of people have success by just throwing a bunch of content out there, and a few of them will pop. You know, I'll spend a ton of time on something and it doesn't do very well, but I've spent my whole week on it. You know, so that's so.
Gotcha.
You know,
what's your right now? How many videos you posting? Are you still doing 2 a week? Are you doing more or less?
My schedule for the last 5 years was always trying to do 2 a week, but sometimes it was 1 a week, depending on how it went. It was always Wednesday and 1 day in the weekend. I've just recently decided that I'm just going to work on a video until it's done and post it whenever it's ready. I don't care what day of the week it is. If it's Monday, if it's Sunday, I don't care.
Is that hard to get past mentally?
It is, but it's been liberating to just say, I'm going to work on this till it's done. Because I used to push myself so hard. I would be up late, 11:30 at night,
trying to get done
first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Now it's like, if I post it Monday, I post it Monday. I don't care. And I feel my viewers don't even notice. Like, they don't, there's no difference to them. It was all the self-imposed prison I put myself in.
Gotcha. That's interesting. Yeah. So you're breaking away from that.
So now it averages about every 4 days per post.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Which is a good balance right now.
Yeah.
And then it might change, but you're in control of that now.
It's just whenever I'm just going to work on a video until it's done. If it's 2 days, if it's a week, I don't care. Whatever.
Do you have a certain length that your videos generally go for, or you recommend like keeping your videos at, or is it just whatever it ends up being?
I mean, I try not to go over 30 minutes. That's a long video for me, and I try not to go below 5 minutes. That's a short video. But I really just film what I think is appropriate, and I edit it as tight as I can, and that's what it ends up being. Okay. Usually ends up being between 10 and 25 minutes.
Okay. And then are you filming your own videos still? Have you got help?
I'm a one-man show.
You're still editing your own
everything.
Videos? Still editing?
Yeah, everything.
You're not outsourcing any of it?
I used to, but...
Oh, you did? And how that didn't work out for you?
They were very good editors, better than I was, but to me the editing is part of the creative process. And I don't just mean like creative editing. I mean just it's like a piece of clay that you're shaping, and sometimes I'll be in there editing at 10 o'clock at night and I think, I needed to say this, I'll just...
you just want to throw it in.
I'll throw an overdub in,
Gotcha.
But when you have an editor who's in England, which is where mine was, that just adding one sentence can add 3 days to your video.
Gotcha.
So if I ever hire an editor again, it would be someone in town who works in the same building as me. Okay, gotcha. Because I don't have that kind of, I don't have this backlog of videos that I can just post this one next week. I just posted a video right before I came here.
Oh, you did? Yeah. So now you're out of content.
So I have nothing.
Gotcha.
So tomorrow's the next. I know what I'm going to film, but I haven't worked on it yet.
How many products are you ahead of yourself? Do you have 10 products lined up? Or you got 2, or are you chasing your tail?
A good month for me, I'll have 8 videos planned, but usually I've got maybe 2.
Gotcha. Yeah. Is it stressful, or is that just...
It's stressful.
I like hearing the raw side of this, right?
It is.
Because you see the fancy polished end, but I mean, it's a grind, like you said.
I have a friend who, he posts twice a day on YouTube. And his channel was not doing very well, and it's just kind of taken off. Okay. But he posts twice a day. And he has a 2-day backlog if anything happens, but if he gets sick...
okay. What type of content is he doing?
Gambling.
Oh, is that Dan? Or
Dan, yeah.
Oh, Dan.
I don't know if I should say it or not, but...
No. So is he still posting?
He was, I don't know if we should say on camera, but he was less than 24 hours from his channel deleted at one point because he had 2 copyright strikes. Oh, damn. Okay. And he had a competitor who called up YouTube who had a rep and bailed him out. And his channel was getting no views. And he just started posting twice a day. And after 6 months of that, it went straight up. Now he's making more than I am, and he's getting more views than I am.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. Very cool.
So I was like, "Damn, you really saved yourself there."
Very cool. Yeah. It's what's your Andrew Tate?
I don't.
Yeah, you didn't see that bald head guy popping up everywhere. Basically, what happens? He was saying some stuff that people didn't agree with, and he got banned on every platform. Oh. What's your thoughts about people being banned on social media, that restriction? Do you think it should be there? You think it shouldn't be there? Like what happened with Trump, how you literally got...
Yeah, I mean,
is that going away from freedom of speech like America stands for, or...
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think that people should get banned. You know, there are certain cases where people should get banned, but I think that the problem right now is that so much of automation is a part of the factor where, you know, people will get strikes and they'll do an appeal, which immediately comes back. You know, nobody looked at it. Then they get a real person to look at it, and that person overturns it. And there was a whole like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier and all these people were talking about it recently. But I do think there's instances, obviously, where someone should probably get kicked off, but it should be with an actual human reviewing it and have an appeals process to another human. Right now, it's so automated. Like, you don't even know.
Yeah, you don't know you don't know who's actually behind it and why it's been done.
I don't know if you remember a few years back, but it seemed like every video I posted was getting that yellow dollar sign. If you remember the yellow dollar sign, like limited money
monetization around it, right?
And then that would always kill a video. Like you would see the trajectory of the video when you post it, and then that would happen. It would go flat, and even when that got reinstated, it would never go back up again. So it would kill a video.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah,
you got someone who's as successful as you are online. What's your tips? What's your advice? Is it passion? Is it consistency? Is it sheer luck?
Well, I think that number one, you have to be careful what you wish for, because you might become successful at that, and if you just throw a couple videos out of something you're not real passionate about, you might get stuck doing that, because that's the only way you're going to find success on YouTube. People I actually frequent the new tubers subreddit on Reddit, even though I'm not a new YouTuber, but I like to give advice in there. And a lot of people are on there are saying, I don't know what I want to do. If you don't really know what you want to do, maybe you shouldn't be doing it, because like you want to be on YouTube, but you don't even know what you want to post on YouTube. That's not really the right approach.
Gotcha.
Camera equipment doesn't really matter at first. If you've got good content, I mean, look at most of Gary V's videos, or somene's holding their phone, and right?
Even his keynotes, it's on a damn phone, and
terrible.
It's shaking. I'm like, where do you keep that damn camera still? Because I want to watch this.
But it doesn't matter, because the content is so valuable.
I'm sitting there watching it because the content is so valuable.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
So worry about the camera later, man. These modern phones are good enough. That's my first advice. And the problem is that a lot of these people watch these how to be successful on YouTube channels, who themselves have never been successful outside of how to be successful on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
There's this one guy out there. I'm not going to mention his name, but all of his videos are get 100,000 followers on Instagram in 24 hours, and you go to his Instagram page, he's got 500 followers.
I see that a lot. The amount of DMs I get about that, I'm like, how can you provide value?
So I mean, I think that a lot of people go out there thinking that there's some magic solution. The magic formula is to be personable on camera, have something you're passionate about, be knowledgeable about it, be fun. Have good audio.
What makes someone personable, in your opinion? Like, I find you really personal on camera. You're really good on camera. You connect well. What do you think takes? Is it just being you're yourself? You're the same person on camera as you are off camera.
Well, I think it's partially kind of being self-aware, because you haven't seen some of my videos from my previous channels before I was on this channel.
No, Sean from Think.
Yeah,
he talked about the same thing. He's had so many failed channels before he got one right.
I think I had 6 channels before I found one that worked.
Do you treat the channel like a business from day one? So if it fails, it's like failing a business?
No, because my channel was a part of something else. I had my website that I was writing for, which was a business, and it was successful. So to me, adding videos was just an element to make that more popular. Yeah. And then the videos became so successful that I kind of put the blog on the background. So it was never really, I really didn't plan to be on YouTube. It was never, I didn't even want to be on YouTube. I didn't plan to. It just, I kind of happened across it. But as far as being personable goes, my early channels were extraordinarily bland, monotone. I had to just be self-aware and look at myself as a viewer, and I was like, I'm really boring. You have to kind of let your best personality come out.
I like that. Yeah. So you're your own biggest critic. You'd watch your own videos, and you would. I do have the podcast a lot. I will literally I'm at the dog park, I'm in the car, I'm listening to my own podcast, and like, Need to shut up there. Need to ask more intelligent questions there. You
have to watch yourself critically, and people don't. I think some people, especially new ones, are so excited just to see themselves on YouTube in that window with all the that's just exciting to them, and they don't realize that the content is atrocious. You know, like it's kind of like, remember back in 2015, 2016 when everybody was vlogging. You know, a lot of those old vlogs, people were like, here I am at Target shopping, you know, in the shaving section. It's like nobody wants to see that. The reason Casey Neistat could do that is because he made it interesting somehow. And like he found a way to make anything interesting.
He was like
people are looking at they're not looking at why that's interesting. They're just looking at what he's doing.
Okay.
You know? And
what's your what's your advice for me? Got a podcast, I'm looking to provide value, I'm looking to help as many people as possible. What do you tell me?
That's a good question.
I'm just interested from your point of view.
You know,
by the way, it's not why I got you here. Okay. I'm just like, well, I've got you here.
I'll be honest. I have to be honest. You like brutal honesty. Dan and I have had a couple of conversations about podcasts in general lately, and the consensus between the two of us is that podcasts have really they're kind of past their prime. You know, like we were talking about Dr. Phil, I think, has a podcast. He gets no views at all.
Dr. Phil,
yeah,
which is crazy.
Howie Mandel has a podcast, gets no views at all.
Okay.
So I mean, I think that, you know, the golden age of podcasts is kind of over. So to me, it's those who are able to maybe adapt and stick with it are the ones who are going to survive. And I think that the fact that you're doing short content is probably a good move.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the other, like the Lex guy from Unbox Therapy. His podcast, if you look at his numbers, they're a tenth of what they were starting off. You know, like he started his podcast a few years ago, it was banging, and now he's just getting hardly any views.
Gotcha.
So, but you know, you kind of have to roll with the times, and right now all these platforms are pushing short form content. So I mean, I've never seen one of your full length podcasts.
Yeah,
I've only seen it on clips.
Okay, so. Gotcha. which is not a bad thing either, right?
Yeah.
Because if you got any value out of the short stuff, that's kind of the goal behind it. I guess the biggest thing for me is I really enjoy this.
Yeah.
I love having good conversations with good people.
Yeah.
And if that helps me grow, that helps motivate someone else, so be it.
Yeah.
It's not something I can definitely say it's not something I'm trying to do to monetize or get money out of it. I just love doing it. And helping other people, if that's what helps me become happier, so be it.
And follow, you know, I mean, really, I think you can still do a podcast while following the trends at the same time. I don't know what the next big thing is. I still think short form content is kind of the right now thing. I don't think it's the forever thing.
No, what do you kind of? I was going to ask you that. Where do you see social media kind of headed?
Man, I don't know.
It's tricky, right?
It's kind of funny. I wish I wasn't on social media. I wish I was one of those people that could just like delete all my accounts and check out, but I can't. You know, like I'm on all of them. I have to be.
Do you like social media outside of what you do for work?
No, not anymore.
Me either. To be completely honest,
not anymore. No, I never go on Facebook. I think I've posted on Facebook personally twice this year, maybe.
I'm the same.
No
you spend
interest.
So much time promoting yourself and building something that you just don't want to touch it outside of it.
It's kind of like, I used to work in sports, and I used to be a huge sports fan, but when sports became my job, I kind of lost a lot of my interest in it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So social media is kind of the same way. It's like, I want to go on social media. That's what I do all day long. So
what's your outlet when you're not working? Like, what do you do for fun? Got you here, don't I? What's your happiness? What's your...
You know, I don't, right now I work so much, I don't have a lot of time for fun, you know, but I really like to travel. I haven't traveled much in the last couple of years, but that's...
Why haven't you traveled so much?
Well, you know, the whole pandemic and everything, and then, you know, I actually took 3 vacations in 3 weeks a few months ago, so I shouldn't say that, but...
Okay.
I do love to travel. It's very expensive. It's the whole travel. I even don't like traveling as much as I used to, because the whole, you know, just the TSA and just the, you know, just so much involved to get to where you want to go.
Can be quite stressful.
And you go to Australia, you know, like I've been there. That's a grind going out there.
It's a 24-hour mission, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're exhausted.
But, you know, like I'm, you know, to me, it's just the people you care about the most, spending time with them. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You don't have to go out anywhere. You can just hang out, sit around the couch and play Mario Kart or something. It doesn't matter. Just having fun with those people, and that's a very small number of people in my life that bring me joy.
Yeah, no, I hear that. As far as like a mentor or someone to help guide you with social to do what you do, you think it's important? You think that's easy to do? How do you go about getting the right guidance, I guess, besides obviously watching podcasts and things like this?
I'm a bit of a student of life, so I'm always, if I want to know something, I'll just binge it until I feel like I'm comfortable with it.
So you can teach it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same.
So, but there's some things that I feel like some people just get more than I do, much more easily. Using a camera properly is one of those things. It took me years to be able to use a camera properly, and as we talked about before, just even having an eye for what a good versus a mediocre camera shot is took me years to develop.
Yeah.
So I mean, some things people are just better at than you. I mean, no matter how much you want to learn or think you know about it.
Have you got a mentor? Have you got anyone you can call or ask or go for guidance with, even at your level?
I have my friend Dan. He's the only person that he'll be brutally honest with me. He gets as many or more views than I do every month, and he's kind of seen my channel from a pretty early stage. So we like to bounce ideas off each other a lot. So that's the only person I can think of.
Gotcha. Okay. And then if someone comes to you for guidance, are you pretty happy to help other people?
I actually, that might be something I end up doing down the road, is
giving back more.
Like I said, I frequent the YouTuber subreddit because I just like helping young new YouTubers avoid some of the pitfalls that a lot of people do. And a lot of them, so many of them have the same misconceptions about starting a channel. It's crazy.
What are some of the misconceptions?
Well, like for example, so many of them are hung up on the value of tags, which YouTube has said tags are almost meaningless to the point where they're considering getting rid of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Well, I mean, because that's so easy to game, you can just have a list of keywords that you want YouTube to basically decide what your video is about. But YouTube now really uses the auto transcription of your words.
Okay.
Much more heavily than it does the tags.
To where to feed it.
The only reason you want to use tags is something that's like commonly misspelled, or there's variations of spelling. That's really the only reason that tags are valuable anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you using tags for your shots?
I use them, but first of all, I have TubeBuddy, which suggests tags.
Yep.
So I'll spend 30 seconds on tags. I'll do a few, and then TubeBuddy suggests the rest of them. Ding, 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 ding. I'm done. I spent 30
seconds.
seconds.
Interesting, because some shots I'll use tags, some I won't because I just don't get to it, or I do it from my phone, and it literally makes no difference.
Just like hashtags on TikTok.
Same thing.
I don't even really use them anymore, and there's no difference.
Yeah, talk to me about that. So you're using it, or you're not using them?
I used to use them. I stopped using them, and I saw no difference with my.
So you're not using any hashtags?
Well, occasionally I will, but I would say.
But it's not making any difference.
9 out of 10 TikToks I don't use any hashtags anymore.
Yeah, that's so nice to do. Because I use them, but I'm like, I don't like using it because it's time consuming. They're a pain in the butt, and I don't know if they work or not. I
do follow. I don't know if you've ever been if you're on TikTok much, but a lot of the For You page is how to be successful on TikTok. That's what mine is, at least.
Okay.
And quite a few of them have. There's some pretty knowledgeable people on there, like social media managers, and they'll do these like deep dive studies of posts with and without hashtags. And one of them actually showed the videos did better without them. So
yeah, I have heard that.
Makes no sense.
I'm at a point I just don't know who to believe anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really knows.
Yeah, but going back to what we said before, like it's something I don't do a lot of, but if you can do the transcription on YouTube, apparently that weighs much more heavily than the auto transcription or the tags, because you're basically giving them thousands of words of what your content is about, and supposedly helps. And I think my rep on YouTube said that their internal study said that videos that actually have a closed captioning uploaded to it get something like 7% more views than those that don't.
When you're writing the description, what do you recommend putting in there, not putting in there, as far as like, because you're saying that's the main thing to worry about now, right?
Well,
you're talking about the description itself?
I'm talking about
or the title?
The closed captioning, the transcript. The what's the word for it?
Like the writing coming up over the video.
Yeah. The closed captioning. YouTube does a pretty good job of auto generating those, but if you actually manually do one, that has more weight, from what I understand.
Okay, gotcha. Very interesting.
That's kind of like and either way, that's what they use instead of tags to really know what your content's about.
Gotcha.
If your tags all say, 2022 Porsche, and you're talking about crypto, they're going to know it's about crypto.
Okay, that's interesting.
So
yeah, we're both fathers. As far as social media, people putting out some stuff when they're 20 years old, bikinis, shaking their butts. What's your thoughts on that? Is it going to come back and bite people in the butt? You feel like that content's there forever. What's your 2 cents on that?
All I got to say is I'm kind of glad that I went through my prime before all that stuff happened.
Amen. I'm exactly the same.
I said and did so many dumb things at parties when I was in my teens and 20s. I'm just glad there was no camera around.
Yeah, I'm on the same page.
Long forgotten. I'm the only one that remembers those things.
Yeah.
I feel bad for this generation having to deal with that, man. It's like,
because it's there forever, whether people say it's not. Like, I think they say Snapchat is like it goes away, but there's service that records it, right?
Yeah.
And my impression is, if you're running for president in 20 years' time, certain amount of money, we'll be able to get that. We'll be able to get the information.
And they'll not only that, but they'll probably have chat transcripts from Facebook Messenger from 2010 or whatever.
That's like interesting too.
Anybody that messaged you and you may have said anything inappropriate, a joke or something, it's probably all out there.
Yeah, you're throwing some racism stuff out, some sexual sin. Yeah.
Remember, I don't know if you remember, Billie Eilish recently had to apologize for an old video of her when she was 13, lip syncing with a song that had an inappropriate phrase in it.
Oh, did it really?
She wasn't even singing it, she was lip syncing it.
Really?
And she had to apologize about that.
Because there's a record.
She was 13 years old.
Interesting.
It's like, there's also a bit of the whole, the outrage culture. Everybody's outraged about everything nowadays. And the cancel culture. It's kind of funny because most people that get canceled end up having more success after they were canceled. Like Joe Rogan's viewers went up after his whole COVID cancellation thing.
Big time, right? Big time.
So it's like, you might think you're standing for a big cause, and maybe you passionately believe in it, but that's not the way to go about it. To be all outraged online all the time, it doesn't work.
So you got successful channel, things are going great. What's next? What's the goal? Where do you go from here? You just keep grinding, keep getting more subs?
I don't think so. No, I
mean, there's got to be some end goal, right?
That's another student of YouTube that I consider myself. You look back, and I think most channels do one of two things: they pivot into something else.
Like Logan Paul doing a podcast,
right?
And it's a great podcast. Right. And he was an idiot when he started.
Right.
And there's audition, and there's pranks, and now he's credible, and now he's doing something with meaning, giving back. Right. And that's kind of what you're getting at, right?
Well, he started on Vine, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, most people can't stand him still, but he's doing good stuff now. I'll give him credit.
Good Mythical Morning, they started doing like musical routines early on, and their channel's been around a long time. So usually a channel either pivots, they quit, or
like Casey Neistat quit, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he just posted a video last week, but it's the first one I think in a year.
But he pretty much burned himself out. Yeah.
Even PewDiePie considers himself semi-retired because he's just posting these like random vlogs in Japan now. But so the third thing that usually happens is what did I say? Hold on, sorry.
No, you're good. You're talking about pivoting.
Yeah. So usually they either they pivot into some other type of content, they quit, or they will just kind of ride out their base that gets smaller and smaller and smaller every year. So I mean, there's channels out there with tens of millions of subscribers that don't get that many views. They get like 50,000 views.
Gotcha.
Because they never pivoted, they stayed online, and I don't want to really be that. I don't want to feel like. I mean, I appreciate my base, but I feel like I'm going to have to pivot at some point, or I'm going to have to do something else.
What do you think that is?
I wish I knew.
You're not no idea yet.
I'm saying I got an itch.
Yeah, where could you go from it?
Well, I mean,
you have talked about reviewing different products like cars and bigger things, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm always trying new things.
You'll dabble here and there.
I do. Okay. I'll always throw like.
What have you dabbled with?
I have guests sometimes on my.
Oh, you do?
I thought maybe one of these days I'd find a guest that I hit it off with, and we could do some of a collaborations kind of thing. Or I've done some travel related type videos. I did some vlogging inside of those travel videos. Different types of content, and it's something else that that some people do that I've been suggested to do is, instead of having so much energy put into one video to make it like this dense thorough review, to just like throw out 4 or 5 videos a week that are just 6-7 minutes. I don't know if I want to do that or not, though. I don't know. I mean, I would eventually, to me, what I think I will eventually end up doing is being more off YouTube and being back on my own website.
Oh, really?
I actually am creating, I'm not going to say the name of it yet, but I'm actually creating a kind of like my own video platform for just my stuff that's off YouTube. My website, I've put a lot more effort into some behind the scenes things. I kind of want to get back to not relying on an algorithm,
Okay, interesting.
Because, YouTube can just change, and it does.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, right?
It does.
Look what TikTok did.
And Instagram, look at Instagram.
Yeah, it just takes...
Any of these platforms, they're all tinkering with the algorithms, and any given day, one little lever can get pressed and you can just fall off a cliff.
Does that worry you?
Yeah, it happened to me once before I was on YouTube. In 2014, I had a website that I used to make a living off of.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And my views went down 90% overnight. And it never recovered.
Yeah,
I ended up walking away from the site I had spent 8 years on.
It's literally like having a business and new technology is wiping it out.
Yeah.
Like Amazon coming out something.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So So eventually, I want to. I want to probably get into the other end of it, where I'm actually selling products. I have a store, and I do a little bit with that, but I don't have to put a lot of effort into it. But I would like to eventually put more effort into growing a significant online store of things that I've personally endorsed and that I kind of curated, list of items.
Do people use your videos on Amazon as far as like product reviews? Are they able to do that, or is that something you could potentially
Not that I've seen. They use my videos.
If I was selling an egg cooker, I'd use your video to sell it, right?
They use my videos and ads without asking about it.
Yeah.
I get that all the time.
What as far as sponsorships, product placement, do you get approached a lot? Are you taking any sponsors?
I get approached every day and I don't take them.
You haven't taken. Why is that? Is it like you feel like you're selling out? Is it?
It does feel like it feels disingenuous to be reviewing a product that you were paid to review.
Even if something you believe in.
Well, I mean, I did do one sponsored video a couple years back, and they were surprised because I told them I'll only do it if you send it to me and if I like it. Okay. They seemed shocked. It was a major company.
What was the product?
It was a Gillette Razor.
Oh, was it? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's huge. Was that a good payday for that?
It was, yeah.
But
I would have done it if I didn't like it.
Gotcha.
I was hoping I liked it.
What about trying to get more of those then? Things like you could, with the audience you got, the leverage you got, you could potentially reach out to people that you want to. Couldn't you go that route?
I could, but I don't feel like that's doing my audience any justice by doing that, because they really want an unbiased, if it's bad, I rip it to shreds, and if it's good, I sing its praises.
What if it's like, I don't know, you've got a car or fitness equipment that you just, or a protein bar that you just love? Like, couldn't you like, hey, I love this. Like I've got certain things that I love and I would talk about highly publicly. Yeah. Don't you have some of those things?
I'm thinking one day, I might do something like that, but it have to be something special. And I haven't. Usually what I get approached with is, I'm an Amazon vendor. They're selling the same crap that I could put in my store. I have connections with Chinese factories that produce, stuff for Alibaba and Express myself. I could go directly to them and put it in my store. I don't need these Amazon vendors,
Okay.
Like, I don't need you.
I've got a question for you, actually. You've reviewed so many products. You know it's good. You know it's bad. How about making your own product?
I've been in the works of trying to do that for quite a while. It makes
sense, right? Because you could take the best from, just say, something cooks eggs. You could take the best 20 products. I know you burn out on that, but I mean, that's something you've done so many on, right?
No, honestly,
and you could make the best version of everything you've done.
I have taken the specs for a certain type of product that I don't want to say yet, and I've given them to a couple different factories, and I've been trying to come up with one, but I haven't got one that I believe in enough yet.
Okay.
So it has to be the best of that category, or there's no point in putting it out, because then you can just go buy the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So,
and then a lot of the products you've done, they're kind of cheap. They're done in like hundreds of thousands in price.
Yeah.
The SKUs are so you'd got to be able to compete on price too, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to be significantly better to pay the extra money, But it's interesting, isn't it? You're thinking outside the box.
I am working on that. In fact, I just had a meeting last week about it, and there's a product that I'm really trying to make happen. I've not got it done yet, and I've been a year working on that now,
okay.
But it has to be something special before I can do that. So
yeah, you got a lot of options there.
Yeah.
So you just so trying to figure out where to pivot to.
Yeah, I feel like I've spent the last 6 years kind of building my reputation of being pretty unbiased, but then at some point I'll take all that experience and knowledge and put it into something that I really do believe in, that I can create and then present to people.
Okay. How's the health and fitness side going? Are you still at the gym? How's that going for you?
You know what? I was doing great. But I messed up my rotator cuff.
What'd you do? Like training or?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and that was over a year it took me to get that fixed, man.
Is it feeling better now?
I mean, it started feeling better in June, and then I got COVID.
I gotcha.
Yeah, a nasty case of it too.
What was happening with your shoulder?
I couldn't even lift my arm. Like it was
gotcha.
just.
Did you do a lot of hanging? Like from a bar?
My doctor thinks it was from push-ups.
Okay.
And that I was maybe doing an incorrect.
I would highly suggest hanging from a bar on a daily on a daily basis. Like in pinned shoulders.
Really?
Yeah, there's books written on it. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. I had problems with my shoulder too. I still can't bench properly hanging.
Really?
Because it goes back to like, hey, we came from gyms, blah blah blah. We're used to doing that. Hanging and squatting for 10 minutes a day, they say, will change your life. So I'd like to see you try that.
Yeah.
And let me know if it makes any difference. But it made a huge difference for me.
Yeah. I went through physical therapy twice. I had an MRI.
What did the MRI come up? Any tear or any inflammation?
It was like micro tears. It didn't show as serious as it felt. You
did have micro tears, did you?
Yeah.
I wonder what caused that.
This was last month was the first time I threw a ball overhand in almost a year and a half.
I went through the same thing.
Yeah. But that really,
not being able to throw a punch in the bag or throw a ball.
So I kind of just gave up.
It's
because it's like
it's so hard to stay motivated and train when you're dealing with an injury, right?
I know,
because it makes you not want to train because it hurts.
Because I'm thinking also like, what am I going to have one big arm and one, like it's going to be all asymmetrical. Yeah. So it really kind of discouraged me. I have kept my weight down, but I lost a lot of muscle. So
that's hard, right? Yeah. But what's the alternative? Is just let go and age quicker.
Which sucks I refuse to give up, but I did get a setback. And I'm not going to blame it all on that, because once you fall off the bandwagon and you get out of the habit, it's hard to get back into it.
It's so much harder, isn't it?
And then I started going to the gym again, and then I got COVID, and then it's just like.
But now you're pretty good, you think?
Yeah, but I haven't got back on the bandwagon yet.
So. You got to just get yourself a trainer again. Was the trainer going good?
It was going good, yeah.
Yeah, why don't you just get back with a trainer?
I need to, yeah. I need to.
Give me that little kick.
I know,
That's what I do.
That's what it was because, like I could have easily gone to the gym myself, but I wouldn't do it without him. So once in fact, it was you're the reason I had a trainer.
Yeah.
So
the only problem with a trainer is sometimes you get so reliant on having a trainer, it's very hard to go without a trainer.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. We can train you sometime too if you want.
I couldn't do it on my own. I had to have someone that I was paying that was like hounding me about it. Like
what gym are you going to?
We were going to a Planet Fitness near my house. Okay. That's the nearest one between us, but. All through COVID, we were working out at a park. He had his bands, and we were he was bringing dumbbells, and we were working outside.
And it totally works, right?
It totally worked. I didn't lose anything. I
was going to sunset through quarantine until it got 110 degrees outside, and you couldn't touch the damn bar. But I go to EOS. I can always take people with me. If you ever want to train,
that'd be cool.
It's kind of like it's nice just to have someone to give you a bit of a kick sometimes. I feel like true friends make you accountable. And if you see me lacking on my social, like, hey Brendan, get on top of this, or you could do better.
And the other problem is I've I've gotten myself until recently, I got myself in a bad habit of just working so much that I've given myself no time for anything else. And it's an unhealthy way to be. It's like, that's why I just changed to I'm going to post when I'm done. And that has been such a freeing.
You feel happier from it?
Yeah, that's only been in the last month I've done that. So,
talk to me about this. I'm a big on balancing your life, right? Like, so for me, it's fitness, family, finance, fun. How do you kind of balance those four? Because I know you're a big family guy. I know like you got 2 great kids. How do you balance it? It seems like you haven't got much of a balance right now.
I don't.
And I don't either, to be completely honest. No. My work is dominating my fun. But I'm not sure what my fun is anymore. It's been in my 40s, you're in your 50s, right?
50s, yeah.
It's what's your balance, and how do you get on top of that?
You know, I've kind of, this whole summer has been like between being sick, having some renovations in my house, being stuck in my room all the time, you know, like having some family medical issues. I really feel like my whole outlook has kind of shifted lately, where you really start to realize just how temporary it all is. And, you know, like, I feel like, you know, in the best case scenario, you know, quite a bit of the chapters of my life are done, you know, like, so now I have to focus on what I want the rest of that book to be, you know?
Yeah.
What do I want those remaining chapters to be? Do I want to be at my computer and just obsessing about, you know, work? Probably not, you know? Like,
yeah, no.
So, you know, I'm going to probably, over the next few years, spend less and less time working, even if I take a financial hit. It's not worth it. You know,
it's not such a big deal, is it?
You watch those like nurses who tell you about, you know, what are people's regrets when they reach the end of their life. Usually it's one of the 3 things is I worked too much, or I had grudges that I never got past, you know, like,
or I cared about other people's opinions, so I didn't try things. Yeah.
So, and like, to me, the working too much hits home, and I don't want to be that. I am right now, but I don't want to be for very much longer. Yeah,
and it's funny because like you're doing well, you're making decent money. And it's like, how much more money do you need?
I know.
You know what I mean?
It does. It's like,
yeah. That's what I found last year. I was busting my butt. Business is going good. And I was like, it's good, but I'm not particularly happy.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm working less, I'm doing more of these, and I love it.
Yeah.
Super happy doing this. But I'm lacking fun because in my 40s, I don't drink or smoke or gamble, so I'm struggling on what to do with myself.
Yeah.
I can only go to the gym so much.
And traveling is expensive, you know? Like,
yeah, I mean, I would travel full time if I could, but
yeah, me too.
It's a money thing, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think I would, but sometimes I'm tempted to just get an RV and just take my dog and go, man. It's
that'd be amazing, right?
Yeah. And like, that's the thing. I don't want to get to be a certain age and regret all the things I didn't do, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. And it goes quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very quick.
My brother just turned 59, and I just said, man, you're going to be 70 in 11 years, you know?
Oh, man. I'm sure he wants to hear
you know, I'm right behind him,
Has
though.
he talked to you since?
You know, it's like, it goes fast. And like, you know, you have to, at some point, soon, I'm going to have to start carving out some more time to enjoy life a little more, because as much as I enjoy what I do, it's not the kind of enjoyment that I want to define my life with.
There's got to be some more depth to it, some more substance, right? Yeah.
I want to meet people, you know, like I watched an Anthony Bourdain documentary recently, and I'm like, you know, like unfortunately he had other demons, but you know, like the things that he did, I mean, man, he did a lot, you know. You see him, and here he is in Vietnam having this weird meal, then he's in like South America, and just like, because he would go and like have food and like talk about their culture, and just like he was meeting people and just immersing himself, you know, like.
Yeah, I remember experiences more than money or anything, right? I remember riding a jet ski around the Statue of Liberty this year. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. That was cool.
Yeah.
I'll remember floating up the Colorado River with a flat battery on a boat on a job.
Right.
More than I will things going right, making money. It's getting out, having conversations with people, meeting new things, doing stuff like this.
And how many days a year do you do those kind of things?
As much as possible, but not enough.
Not nearly enough,
Not
right?
nearly enough.
It's like, I think back to the happiest moments of my past 10 years, and they're all those very short like vacations, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
That week I spent in Hawaii with my kids, or, you know, that week in Puerto Rico or something, you know, like, it's just, you can't define your year by that week or two that you do something fun. You're like, I don't want it to be like that. So,
no, I love that, man. Thank you.
All right, man.
So much for your time. Thanks for sharing your insight.
Anytime, man.
Yeah, so James White, Freakin Reviews. Be sure to subscribe because he really needs it.
Please subscribe.